Have you ever been fascinated with a pinball machine? So fascinated that you'd like to own one? Have you wanted to play a real pinball machine from the early 80s that talks? Well, I think I had a similar experience with a certain machine called Gorgar. But, however, the machine changed my views about my sudden addiction to pinball. 12th of the 3rd, 2013. I was walking at a warehouse that sold vintage pinball machines from the 1960s to the early 1980s. I asked the owner, Zach, "Is there a rare machine from the 1980s in this warehouse?" He replied, "Yup, a lot of them." More specifically, he was pointing at a Gorgar pinball machine from the late 70s that only cost $20. I asked Zach why the machine cost $20, and he replied with, "This machine is said to be haunted by, I don't know, a red devil or something. The previous owner complained of pictures falling down, weird knocking noises on the front door, an apparition of a man, red with horns, glaring at him while he was asleep. He couldn't take the haunting anymore, so he sold it to me, and now I keep it here with a holy cross nearby. Trust me, you're gonna love playing it," he added to his reply. And so, I bought it, along with a cross to prevent the spirit from attacking me. 13th of the 3rd, 2013. The Gorgar machine finally arrived at my home, mint and clean. I plugged the machine in and started playing it. It was the typical simplistic machine that gives 100 points on an unlit pop bumper. What really creeped me out though, was the image of a man with horns on the back glass of the playfield. There's this certain target called the Snake Pit, which had a voice that says, "Me got you," when the ball hits. This pit was one of the highest scoring targets, unless you complete the GOR targets. I had a lot of fun until the machine suddenly emitted a loud bang, and the machine shut down with the score 66660 placed in the scoring back glass. At first, I thought it seemed weird to see a display left intact when a pinball machine is plugged out. I said, "Well, looks like I gotta do some maintenance tomorrow." 13th of the 3rd, 2013, 10:05 PM. Finally, it was time for me to sleep. I went to bed and suddenly, I heard a knocking noise. I thought that my wife came home late, but she was asleep. So I managed to grab a flashlight and walk into the front door. I answered it and nobody was there. As I was walking to my bedroom, ready to sleep, I saw a picture of me when I graduated college. Broken. It seemed that it fell down. I thought the nail holding the picture was rusty, but it wasn't. I got back to sleep seeming paranoid about the machine's display. 12:26 AM. As I was asleep, I kinda had a weird dream. Something that was unfamiliar to me. What I remember was a snake pit and a man with red horns in it, offering me anything I wanted if I beat the high score, which could be 999,999 for something. I suddenly woke up, thinking that it was a nightmare. Then, I walked downstairs to the machine where I played it, trying to beat the high score. 12:28 AM. There was a paper written with high scores with words, 999,990, Gorgar. I reluctantly challenged Gorgar into beating his score for a huge amount of money. I launched the ball, and I managed to score 100,000 points in just 5 minutes. Wow, I must be good at this, I told myself, as the 200,000 point mark was reached. All of a sudden, the floor was shaking, like an earthquake struck. 500,000 points. I suddenly lost control of my hands, draining the ball, only at the second ball. 499,000 points until I could beat Gorgar. But suddenly, the cross that was hanging right next to the machine suddenly moved upside down, slowly, as I tried to control the flippers. 510,940 points. I suddenly heard footsteps, soft footsteps of some kind. My paranoias reached out more as the footsteps sounded louder and closer to me. 3:29 AM. I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take the pain, the upside down cross, all the nightmares that happened. As I took a step away from the machine, I felt a hand grab me, dragging me to the machine, and a faint voice whispering. Me, Gorgar, suddenly spoke to me. I was creeped out, and I would want to go to sleep again. 3:33 AM. 574,840 points. I managed to get control of the table, continuing my third ball and last, as suddenly, the floor was shaking again. So powerful, in fact, that the game suddenly tilted. My heartbeat suddenly grew quicker as I lost the challenge, and now, an apparition of a red man with horns kind of abducted me and scared me. 15th of the 3rd, 2013. I woke up in a hospital with doctors saying, Eric, you were in a coma, presumed snake bites. Luckily, we managed to revive you before the snake venom killed you. I was shocked. Suddenly, I was hallucinating. The red man in the snake pit as I was panicking, needing a glass of water. I told the doctor, Gorgar's here. He's got me. And she gave me a glass of water which I poured the water on my eyes, clearing the hallucinations. I gotta destroy the machine, I exclaimed before falling asleep. 2nd of the 4th, 2013. I packed the machine, took it to the desert, and burnt it with the machine's last words saying, You hurt Gorgar. Now, I live peacefully with my wife. And still, sometimes I remember the machine in anguish. However, the machine survived, and now with a new owner, a priest, my next move was to investigate the activity of the machine to the priest. 7th of the 5th, 2013. I met the priest who now owns the Gorgar machine, and all of a sudden, he told me, Gorgar's back to get you, Eric. Thanks for sticking around to the end. And if you enjoyed today's story, make sure to leave a like. And if you want more like it, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss a story. If you need more now, why not check out my Gamepasta playlist? I'll leave that on this card, and I'll catch you in the next story.